So there are all sorts of places to find new Instagram followers, and actually Instagram itself is probably one of the hardest places to gain new followers. It's a busy place, there's a lot going on, and it's very hard to stand out. So in this video we're going to look at ways that you can reach new people outside of Instagram who will be engaged and interested in your content, as opposed to bulking out your following with just bigger numbers of people who are not interested and would actually end up hurting your account. So I'm Johnny, I'm a photographer, and this channel is all about creativity, photography, social media, and everything around that. So if that's you, definitely consider subscribing to the channel. Now, before we get started, there's one thing that you really need to understand, and that is that people will not just follow you because you threw a link in their face or because you dropped your content. Nobody is entitled to new followers without doing work and without connecting to people. The followers you are looking for are real people, so you have to treat them like real people. It's crazy the amount of DMs I get that just say follow, share, no one's gonna do that. Do not spam people. This is not about spamming other platforms outside of Instagram. This is about connecting with people and finding people who are interested in your content and sharing conversations. So first of all, we're going to talk about Reddit. Reddit is possibly one of the more hostile platforms on the internet. This is the kind of place that if you do it wrong, people will definitely tell you, and you'll probably get banned from subreddits, that sort of thing. So definitely don't spam this platform. But it's a really good platform for finding specific conversations on specific subjects and people who are interested in set niches. So I'm a photographer. I'm going to be looking for people who are interested in photography or are interested in the subject of your photography. So for example, I'm a landscape photographer predominantly, so I am going to be looking for people who are interested in the outdoors. Maybe they're hikers, walkers, but they could also be landscape photographers. So what I can do and what I have done, you drop into walking and hiking subreddits, and then you could just start conversations. You could drop some of your images and your Instagram, but also start talking about the routes you took. Ask people what's the best route up here, or say, I took this shot from, location X and I had a hard time getting up there. Does anybody know of any better routes up? That sort of thing. Start conversations, and they may just click on your link and check out your Instagram and follow you. So hopefully you can use my example there to apply to your own niche or your own account. But just remember that nobody is going to care about your links until they care about the value that you're bringing to the conversation. So aim for that first, try and have a decent conversation and drop your links in as well. Other people will see it and you could gain, a whole bunch of followers. The next platform we're going to talk about is Facebook groups. To find groups, you just go to Facebook, look on the left-hand side, you'll find a groups tab, then you can hit the search bar and search for your interests or what your account is about or your niche, whatever it is, you can find it on Facebook groups. I would say look for the groups that are around 10,000 people or less. The bigger groups are full of spammy stuff and the algorithm starts to come into play a little bit more there. So I would aim for the smaller groups which have less people in, and therefore, you can have better conversations. Now, you are not intending to go into these groups and start spamming links and throwing your images around and saying, follow me, find me on Instagram. People will not be interested in it, and then the algorithm will know that your content is not something that people are interested in. Instead, start conversations, reply to people's comments, and get to know people, at least for the first couple of hours of being in the group. Then, for example, what I did was I joined a hiking group and I didn't post my main photos. Again, landscape photography. I didn't post my main shots that are on Instagram. I actually posted the behind the scenes shots, the ones of me walking, the ones of me taking pictures of my feet or sheep as I was, walking by, stuff that I thought the people in that group would find interesting, and they did. They commented on the photos and they asked about them and the journey I took. So I started a conversation. Then the next time I posted, I did a few more images and I did drop my Instagram link, and a whole bunch of them did go over and follow me on Instagram. And incidentally, I had more conversations with people on Instagram, treating people as real people, and then you have good relationships with people and they follow you, and if you're interested in their work, you can then follow them back. So that's Facebook groups, arguably the best part or maybe only good part about Facebook. These groups are great though, you can learn a lot from other people, and it is an exchange in value. So you're interested in what they're doing and they're interested in what you're doing, and in exchange, sometimes I'll follow people from the group and sometimes they'll follow me. Now the next one really applies more to people who are trying to fire up a personal brand or running a business, and the next platform is YouTube. YouTube is super powerful. It probably has the best discovery system of any other platform, and it also has the widest demographic of any other platform. YouTube is super powerful. Now, you might be thinking that it's a difficult thing to do to make YouTube videos and you don't really want to spend the extra time doing it, but if you're serious about your personal brand or your business, it's definitely worth considering firing up a YouTube channel and adding content to it, because the difference between Instagram and YouTube is I'll post to Instagram and then I'll post again every day, and then if I stop, the content stops. With YouTube, I post a YouTube video, it starts small and it lifts like this. More people watch it probably 2 or 3 weeks after than did initially. Your work lasts longer on YouTube. So again, this is really for people who are serious about personal brand or business or their niche and really want to get the most out of it. YouTube is very, very powerful, but it is also quite a lot of work, but it's worth it. Now, in contrast, the next one is for people who are new to Instagram, or maybe they have a new account, or even have just under 100 followers and you're starting to grow your community. Definitely don't forget about your other social media networks. You know, for example, lots of people have hundreds of friends on Facebook. Now, it doesn't work when you drop your links onto Facebook and say, I've got a new Instagram account, you know, come and follow me. That doesn't really work. What will work is if you update regularly onto Facebook about your Instagram account, but don't drop links, because Facebook doesn't like it when you link out of Facebook for some reason. I don't know if that's a myth or not, but it has definitely been the case for me. If I drop links into Facebook and send them out, Facebook seems to limit your reach a little bit. But tell people on all your other social media accounts what you're doing on Instagram. It's probably noteworthy and you're probably really into it. So be passionate, tell them what you're doing, tell them when you're winning, tell them when you're losing, just talk about your Instagram account on your other social media networks and people will filter across, I promise. Before we get into the next ones, I'm gonna do a little bit of something for myself and I'm gonna drop an ad. After that, we are going to look at loads more interesting ways to reach new people and get new followers on Instagram. But while this ad's playing, maybe if you wanna hit like and say hi in the comments, I usually respond. But yeah, here's the ad. Okay, so another really, really overlooked place to gain new Instagram followers is actually forums. I've gained quite a lot of followers by actually just responding to people and helping people on forums. It could be any kind of forum. Probably better to be related to your content or the type of account that you've got. But like the others, don't go to the forum with the intention of taking attention from it. Go to the platform with the intention of helping people and give people advice. People are asking lots of questions on forums, and if you know a lot about your subject, then you know, you can help people. A really good way, a good example of me, I could go to a photography forum with lots of beginner photographers because I have quite a lot of photography knowledge in my brain. So I can help them with their photography at the same time as dropping my links to Instagram if they want to see more of my work, and they'll probably come across. And remember, there are conversations on forums, but really they're places for people to land to read through conversations and learn themselves. So lots more people see your reply if it's a good, high-value reply. So that's forums, really, really good place to find new people. Okay, another one for the businesses, personal brands, and anyone else who is really serious about growing their Instagram account. Email lists. You've probably got an email list, you're probably sending out newsletters, and I can probably guarantee that within that newsletter you have a little link to click on your Instagram, and people probably aren't coming across. Now that's because people won't do something unless you ask them to do it. So why not have a whole section in your newsletter that talks about your Instagram account? For example, it could be this month's conversation starters on Instagram, and then maybe just go into a tiny bit of detail on those posts. If people are reading your email list, they are probably interested in your company or your brand or whatever it is, and they will probably come to see what those conversation starter posts were about. So it could be a small little bit, it doesn't have to take up too much space, but just essentially let your email subscribers know that your Instagram account exists and your followers find it interesting. Again, if your followers don't find it interesting, then you could probably check out some of my other videos because that's the place to start. You won't gain new followers if your content isn't good. And while we're on the subject of email, little bonus tip, you probably have a personal email account. Why not put your Instagram into your signature of your email address? So when you send out emails, people can find you. If you send a lot of nasty emails to customer services, it's probably not a good idea, but you know, I'll leave that to you to decide. Now the next one might come as a surprise, but real life. real life is a great place to find Instagram followers. You would be surprised at how many opportunities there are in life to find new followers. I'll give an example of myself, for example, again, landscape photographer, and I tend to go to popular locations every now and then, not during, obviously, the crisis at the moment, but when you go to these places, there are often other photographers, straight away you share an interest, and I'm always really, really interested to see whether they're on Instagram and what their work is like, and I always, I give them a little card, it's just got my Instagram on it, I give them the card and they can find me, and there are lots of people that continually engage with my content and I engage with them who I have met through, photographing the same location. So as I said, you could get a few business cards printed with your Instagram on it and just hand them out to people that you meet. Not like those people on the street, where you walk by and they just do this. I'm not saying to do that. Essentially what I'm saying with this one is just to simply consider when you meet someone, you connect with them and you're interested in the same thing, ask them about their Instagram account, ask them if they have any work online, and also drop your own in there into the conversation. Another one, very similar to the email list, but this is your own personal website. Again, if you have a personal brand, a shop, or you're very serious about growing your Instagram account, you may have your own personal website. And again, I bet you've got a link on it to your Instagram, but that won't be enough. You need to let people know what value they'll be getting from your Instagram. And you could have a section on your website, just like the other one, where you talk about your Instagram account or your latest post, those sorts of things. But don't do it in a passive way, tell them why they will find it interesting. Tell them that it exists and what they could get out of it. So the next one is complicated but really, really effective, and it kind of follows on from websites. This is to create sources of value. Now this is to create something that is more or less within your niche, that is really high value and very useful, and ask people to follow you in exchange for using it. As I said, this is complicated, so I'll give you an example of something that I built which worked for me. So during the first lockdown in the UK, I built a website that you can use to calculate climbing mountains but using your stairs. So you can select the mountain from the drop-down menu, you can type in how many stairs you've got and how high your stairs are, those sorts of things, and it will give you the exact number of times you need to climb your stairs to simulate climbing that particular mountain. When I launched it, it really blew up. I got about 2,000 hits in the first day. It really, really blew my mind. But people found it really interesting, and what I'd done is I'd put my Instagram in it saying, I created this for free. If you enjoy it, come and find me on Instagram, give me a follow and support me. And loads of people did. I was getting loads of DMs from people asking me to add particular mountains to it, those sorts of things. And it may look like a lot of work, but I did it in an afternoon. I used my skills to create something that applies to me. And I'm sure you must have some sort of skills. You must have something that you can offer, that you can build to send people to, and that gets attention, and then you can put your Instagram links into that in exchange for people using it for free. So again, a little more complex on that one, but I wanted to put it in there because it worked so well for me. And I'll put a little link in the description to that website if you're someone who's interested in keeping fit in your own home and getting inspired. So following on from all of that, I'm actually working on some downloads at the moment. These will be like Instagram instruction manuals that you can download and work through. So when that's done, I will leave a link in the description. And let me know in the comments which one of these you found the most useful. And remember, hit that like button, that helps me out a lot. I will leave some of my other Instagram videos up on the screen right now. And remember, if you hit that little round circle in the middle, you can hit subscribe. And if you do that, I will see you in the next video.